Here we go. We're going to do a reading. I want to read you something from Deep Blue Murder. Before I do the reading, it is, excuse me, from chapter 5. So before I start, I want to set the scene up for you so you're not lost. Fiona and Nathan, who are now married, Nathan's mom, Rita, and her executive assistant, Hal, have gone to Deep Blue Isle, which is U.S. Ambassador Taslow's privately owned island in the Caribbean, the Grand Bahamas to be exact. This is the first they are meeting the ambassadors since they have arrived, and they are having their first formal dinner with the ambassador, his wife Kira, her life coach Olesa, who is Russian, and so is Kira, by the way, and the ambassador's executive assistant, Liam Sorensen. Okay, so fresh lobster and steamed clams are being served, and Fiona is a nervous wreck because she is very nervous about having to rip apart a lobster at this very, very formal dinner. And if you've read any of the Fiona Quinn mysteries, you know that Fiona becomes semi-obsessed when she gets upset. She gets verbal diarrhea. She gets, really obsessed about things. So she's really worried about having to rip open this lobster and eat it in the front of all these very, very important people. Anyway, she's about to dig into her lobster, and this is what happens. Chapter 5. Here we go. Fiona glanced around the table. Everyone was chatting and smiling and chuckling, throwing their inhibitions to the wind as they took up their seafood crackers and dug into their lobsters. "You can do this, nutcase," Fiona mused, then slowly picked up the cracker to conquer the lobster staring up at her with those bulging red eyes. Just then, she felt something grab or hit her in the shoulder. Kira let out a high-pitched gasp. Frantically, Olesa pushed her chair back. That's when the something pushed off Fiona's shoulder and onto her plate. Only it wasn't just any something. It was a small, young-looking vervet monkey. The little primate let out a big shriek. Wait, did the monkey shriek, or did that scream come from her own throat? The chatting and chuckling around the table came to an instant halt. Everyone froze in their seats, wide eyes with silent oohs on their lips. Without pause, the monkey seized Fiona's lobster by the head, and much to her surprise, or perhaps it was just a reflex, Fiona grabbed the lobster by the tail. Fiona heard Nathan's rattled inquiry, "What are you doing?" It was too late. The tug of lobster was on. The monkey squealed at her, yanking the lobster with its tiny black hands. Meeting the vervet's impertinent gaze, Fiona tugged at the tail. The monkey's little white brows furrowed in unrelenting determination to have the lobster as its dinner. But Fiona pulled and tugged all the more. Rita quietly implored, "Fiona, let go." Nathan pushed from his seat. "Fiona, let him have it. You're not going to want to eat it after he touched it. Just let go." But somehow she simply couldn't. Askance, Fiona could see Kira with her hands cupped over her mouth. Through her fingers, she cried, "Oh my God! What was going on? Why wasn't she letting go?" Out of nowhere, that little stubborn streak that rarely raised its ugly head was bursting through her in spades. Fiona pulled back harder. Evidently frustrated by the human's fierce doggedness, the monkey let go of the lobster with its right hand, snatched a steamed clam from the plate, and hurled it at Fiona, smacking her in the forehead. Thwack! The clam bounced off her head, on the table, and into Hal's wine glass. Splash! Okay, so at the end of this whole deal, as the story goes on, the monkey is in the story quite a bit. I got him all through it. He's a lot of fun. And she ends up naming the monkey Jerry.